the discussion block today, no, firstly, hello, like the 27th time I'm doing this intro to this video, but hi, welcome to my kitchen. On the discussion block today is celery. A couple months back, approximately 2, I was looking at someone's Instagram stories and they were going on a celery juice cleanse, and they'd put a post up about thyroid healing, the medical medium, and that kind of thing. And so I downloaded the audiobook, and I started listening. And I then went on a celery juice cleanse. Essentially, I'm willing to try anything to help my body work better, cope better with my Hashimoto's. And I've also grown up in a home that was very aware of the healing properties of different kinds of food, whether it was turmeric and turmeric milk when you were feeling a little bit coldy, fluey and chesty, to like fennel seeds. Lots of foods had these medicinal properties. And so it's not a foreign concept to me, and I'm always willing and open to learning about new things and trying new things in order to help my body heal better. I the kind of person that's willing to look into the alternative methods in conjunction with consulting a medical practitioner, and that's what I'm doing. I am still following the advice of my endocrinologist and doing my low carb, high protein eating diet plan thing, but I'm also adding other slightly more natural things in trying to not over medicate myself with all these extra over the counter stuff. And I think being interested in alternatives came into play when I had another really big Hashimoto's flare-up in January, where I had to go into the emergency room, and then they were x-raying me, and I had a problem with my gut and bowel movements and intestines and all of those things, and I was following the high protein, low carb protocol, and it didn't occur to me that having these kind of problems would follow back to or link back to my thyroid hormones. And when the doctor spoke to me, he was like, no, it might be an indicator of low hormones, and your other doctor needs to put you on a higher dosage. And so with every incident, I learned a little bit more about things that I now need to make sure that's happening in conjunction with something else. And so if I can find a more natural food source than just supplementing with over-the-counter things available in a can, I'm really kind of open to that. And so in conjunction with that happening, I then saw this post, and in listening to, I don't know if it counts as reading, because I feel like something very different about holding a book and reading it in this voice and tone and picture that you create in your mind, as opposed to listening to it because it's already done for you in this voice. But anyway, that's a side point. And I decided I was going to do the celery juice thing, and I was struggling for a good long while, and I was on magnesium poles, and they were trying to get me to take extra fiber in the form of something called Metamucil, and I was like, no, I need to find alternatives to this. And so I made sure that I was on the regular consuming stuff like asparagus and if we can find it, artichoke, and making sure that I'm consuming these probiotic foods to aid the processes in my body. And sometimes I feel like people should be educated about these things in school, like at the very beginning, so that they have like some basis, because to come at it when you have some kind of ailment, it sometimes feels like you're scrambling to find something, and there's so much information about everything out there, you actually just don't know what is truth and what is just like for the sake of being out there. And so it's really hard to navigate when you're looking for something that's a definite truth. that's another side note. But anyway, so as with those things, I try to help on my health journey. My husband came along and he was doing the celery juice thing with me. And at first I didn't have a juicer, I just had a smoothie maker, and so I just plonked all the pieces of celery into the smoothie maker, put some water in and blended. And I think for the first week we drank it, and there were little blobs of celery in there and we chewed our way through it. And then I decided, okay, no, let's try the juice. And initially, when we were doing that, we already started to feel the difference in terms of our internal systems and our gut and our bowel movements and that kind of thing. It was like some kind of cleanse that was happening internally. But then I went to the store and I was not prepared to spend the $400 that the advertised juicer, as per the book, had. I wanted to start it without a large amount of money invested into the process, and at a later date, if it's something I continue to do, then I can invest in something with a higher motor power, self-cleaning, and all of those things. And so we bought, I think it was like $38, so the cheapest juicer on the shelf, really. So a roughly $40 juicer, and it works just fine for the function that I use it in, and it's relatively easy to clean. So if it's just me using the juicer and doing the whole process by myself, it takes me roughly maybe 20 minutes, 25, depending on how so fast I'm moving for the day. But if we're double teaming it and my husband's helping me, someone's washing this celery and another one is juicing, and while that's all getting done, the cleanup is also quick, and it's done in like less than 15 minutes, and we move on with our day. So at some point, either at the beginning or the end, don't know where I've inserted it, you will see me on one of my days of juicing, and just the process that I go through. One thing I should mention is initially I was just putting the leaves and everything in there, and the juice was very bitter, and then I happened upon someone's post talking about how they took the leaves out, and then it wasn't as bitter and grainy. And then I started doing that. So I pull off the leaves and I just juice the stalks. And then if you're wanting to go even further, you can drain or strain the juice even further before you drink it. I don't. I drink it as it comes out of the juicer. But at some point I probably will try the second strain outside of the juicer and let you know how that goes. So essentially, it makes you a little gassy, but it also flushes your system in some way. And I don't know any of the like medical facts around it. I can just speak for what's happening in my body. There is a level of cleaning I feel like happens internally in terms of your gut biome and going to the loo and bowel movements that I have not struggled with and have not needed to take extra supplementation since I started doing it. And it's supposed to have extra healing properties, and I'm going to continue to do it for another 3 to 6 months and match it up with my previous blood panels to see if there is a genuine difference. I can tell you now, I like the internal feeling that happens in terms of my gut and my intestines and that kind of thing, and so there's a strong chance I'm going to continue to do it. And I think my husband also experienced a change in his general bowel movements and gut and intestines. The one thing we can testify to is the fact that it does make you a little extra gassy. And you learn how to manage your way around that, I suppose. These are my celery juice diaries, and I will update you as I move along in the journey.